Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's practical privacy tip. I'm really excited to have Alexys Carlton with us today. Practical privacy tip is a place where we bring really experienced privacy professionals to you to share a tip, a really operational, practical measure that they put in place in their organization that really help to advance some aspect of the privacy program. And Alexys, who's president of Prevendura and also a consultant for Blue Sky Privacy, has worked in-house for many years for large organization and really had to build a program from the ground up. And she had limited resources and was the only person in privacy for so many years. It was amazing what she was able to accomplish by leveraging a lot of resources. So today she's going to share with us how to stay informed to business change, which is so critical in the privacy program, by leveraging your IT team. So Alexys.
Yeah, so to effectively manage the privacy program, especially when you have a small team, the privacy team must stay informed into what is happening in the business. Otherwise, all of our efforts to align to a privacy framework or to comply with certain laws might be quickly lost. Often, we hope that the business partners will loop us into what's happening or that they'll complete a PIA for every change that they implement. But I just know from experience that things often fall through the cracks. Someone will forget to inform our team, or all of a sudden, it'll be the day before launch and we're going back to the business and telling them that that project just can't go live because it isn't compliant with a specific privacy law. And so, but staying informed it's challenging and it takes a lot of effort. So my privacy tip is to begin by leveraging your IT team to stay informed.
I think that is so critical, because how many of us have been in that situation, and this is not uncommon, where the night before a product launch, you'll get a note from someone IT saying, oh, we just need a privacy sign off. Can you take a quick look at this? We're going live tomorrow. And you said something, we hope that the team will keep us informed of change. And as a dear friend of mine once said, hope is not a strategy. And it certainly is not a strategy in these operational environments. So let's hear about how you break this down into the how. How do you keep, informed? How do you leverage the IT team? How did that work for you?
Yeah, I think you're right. I hope, in the end, you could hope that you're still going to be working longer hours or, delivering terrible news to the business if you just rely only on hope. And so what I've found is that technology is already the backbone of most of the business processes today. And so your IT leadership, they have to stay updated to the business strategy and to the various needs of each department. And so if there's a major change to how the company is collecting or processing personal data, someone in the IT team likely already knows about it. And so what I found is that the IT team, they already have processes, they have meetings, they have various people that you can go to gather that information. And I just wanted to share some of those areas where you can start looking into to see if it matches your program. And so to get started, what I recommend is kind of learning about the existing IT processes in your organization and start deciding how those processes might help keep your privacy team informed. For example, there's some various ones here listed on this slide, but everything from your change management tickets. Every significant change to technology that happens likely goes through an advisory board in your IT team. There might be a way to ask a question in those tickets. Does this involve personal data? And if it does, trigger maybe a privacy review from there. In addition, you have everything from every single ticket in the IT service requests that might come through for something that's broken, or they're running out of storage, or they need to export data onto a USB that can trigger those privacy reviews. The main one here the main three here, probably your privacy management planning, your procurement, and then knowing what's happening in the various sprints in your development cycle, because that's when you're going to see the big significant changes. I have found that just the kind of project management planning that goes involved, from the business case to deciding the actual tasks that need to happen, is a great way to just know what does the business need and how does that affect the overall privacy strategy. And ideally, instead of having to look at every single ticket or sit in every or everything that comes to your email, try to add those triggers. How do you kind of leverage those personnel that are reviewing those tickets or are involved in that planning to know when to inform privacy?
That's an excellent point, and that I will say was a game changer in an organization that I worked in house for many years. Once we figured out that our process was completely unsustainable of this last minute involve privacy, you know, in the development cycle at the last minute, or you know, just dealing with these firestorms. Once we realized that there were existing processes, we didn't have to develop everything. We could just insert ourselves into, and we had, you know, leadership support to do that. We were able to get engaged at levels 3, 5, and 8. You know, it was a more typical waterfall development process at the time, but that changed everything. It was a little more, it slowed things down at points for the IT team, but in the end, we were able to go much faster. So
Absolutely.
let's hear about, yeah, I didn't think so much about the ongoing side of things. So let's hear about ongoing meetings and then your key resources.
Yeah, I mean, to keep, you know, IT on, keep the lights on in the IT department, and to plan for the future, there's a lot of ongoing meetings that they're having where they're discussing issues or discussing the future. And so some of the key areas that I have found are useful to either attend the meeting or just gather notes. If somebody's already taking the notes, ask if you can have them so you don't have to sit in that meeting. But the daily scrum or daily stand-up meetings that are happening, for instance, I used to sit, you know, 2 to 3 times a week in the IT operations stand-up, which was just your infrastructure team. And you would find, you know, little tidbits of information from them. For example, you'll learn that the file server that is, you know, on premise is out of storage space, and so they're starting to look at moving to the cloud. And so you can get in those conversations very early when they're discussing these significant changes, and you understand the why. You know that the business is experiencing that impact, and maybe the how to prioritize that amongst your privacy team. In addition, the strategy meetings that they might have, kind of planning resource allocation or the next 12 months of what various projects are coming, you can help, you know, insert to that particular technology might actually need privacy involved in the procurement process so that we can help vet that program or that solution. Could you please include us on that team? So just being involved and finding out what's happening in the business gives you that opportunity to have that conversation of, will you please include me, or will you please update me to that piece of information? And then the final area is, of course, the people. There's no better way to stay informed than to build those relationships and to connect with the IT resources in your organization to stay informed. And there's various individuals you might want to meet depending on kind of what your information you're trying to figure out. Depends on who you might want to meet with, whether you want to meet with an administrative level or a leader or even somebody at the C level. But the key here to remember is to make sure that this relationship is mutually beneficial. So if you're going to set up a monthly meeting with your IT ops leader or your project management leader, you know, make sure that that's beneficial to them as well. What are you bringing to that meeting to inform them? Do you want to talk about the new New Zealand law that's coming into effect? Or do you want to ask them how data subject rights requests are going? Are they very impactful to them? The more you kind of build that rapport and they find that relationship really meaningful, the more information that you'll end up gathering and kind of work together to collaborate on how to truly integrate privacy into your organization.
Alexa, that's an excellent, very practical tip. So if you are having trouble staying on top of the pace of development in your organization, I hope that you'll consider some of these really practical suggestions from Alexys. And of course, if you need help operationalizing your privacy law requirements, Blue Sky Privacy is here to help with a suite of virtual and ongoing privacy as a service options.